Listen to this. Hold up. There's a lot going on here, and not everybody's buying Megan Thee Stallion's side of the story. Because right now, some people feel like she's playing the victim, but the truth is, we don't actually know who cheated on who between her and Klay Thompson. We're only getting her version of events. And yeah, things clearly went left, but the internet wasted no time reacting. Even Cam'ron and Mase jumped in with their takes, with Cam basically saying, stop putting your relationships in the spotlight, because every time you do, it turns messy. And honestly, he might have a point, because once your relationship is public, everybody feels invited, everybody has opinions, and suddenly you're trying to prove your love to the world instead of just living in it. And let's be real, most of the time it doesn't end well under that kind of pressure. Now Mase took it a step further, like what did you expect? Pointing out that she wasn't dating a regular guy, but a high-profile NBA player with championships and hundreds of millions. And relationships like that come with a whole different level of pressure, maybe even expectations that move too fast, and sometimes it just doesn't line up. And yeah, we've seen celebrity couples work, like Ashanti and Nelly, but that took time. Most of the time, it crashes instead of lasting. Now shifting gears because it gets even messier. There's also chatter coming from DJ Vlad claiming Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty might be done, with registry info showing him allegedly living in a small spot in Queens instead of that massive Hidden Hills mansion. Plus rumors flying about another pregnancy situation, but none of that is confirmed. And if it is true, people are calling it one of the biggest fumbles. But let's not forget Nicki's past relationships, from Safari drama to Meek Mill getting involved, and how all of that played out behind the scenes. And honestly, it makes you wonder if this situation was more of a rebound or just her trying something different outside the celebrity circle, especially since she's dealt with high-profile names before. And at the end of the day, she's still the boss with the power and the money. But if things really went left like people are saying, then yeah, it's unfortunate, especially with a child involved. But we still don't have all the facts. Now on another note, the rap scene is heating up too, with Lazy Bone taking shots at Finesse 2 times in a diss track and calling out the whole situation around that sample drama, basically saying Finesse ran to the internet instead of handling business properly. And even though the diss came late, there's still some truth people are debating. Meanwhile, DJ Vlad is over here talking about how building platforms takes years and not everyone can just jump audiences overnight. And then you've got Honeycomb Brazy jumping in, calling out Finesse 2 times as well, saying he switched up after getting money. But hold up, that's ironic because Honeycomb himself has had his own history of switching sides and calling people out, including issues with the J Prince camp before turning around again. So yeah, the streets don't forget, and the internet definitely keeps receipts. And just when you think it couldn't get more random, Jim Jones ends up in a situation at Lowe's over a mispriced item, feels disrespected, pulls out his phone, and almost crashes out before catching himself. And honestly, while he tried to make it something bigger, situations like that happen all the time with store policies that just don't make sense. And yeah, sometimes those systems really do more damage than good.
This manager decided to take upon himself to tell me what I've done wrong. So tell the people that you're mad that I found these locks for $78.
Hold up, listen to this. Those Yale locks he was talking about aren't cheap at all. We're talking like $200, $250 easy. So yeah, I get why he was pressing the issue when the price looked off. But at the same time, just because a store tags something wrong doesn't always mean they're obligated to honor it. And he kept pushing like, y'all set the wrong price, calling him out while the employee clearly didn't want any smoke and was just trying not to get in trouble. And honestly, it looked like the worker was trying to de-escalate while Jim was heating it up, saying the guy brought bad service instead of real customer care. And then he starts filming like, you see how they treating us, threatening to make it go viral. But let's be real for a second. That employee was probably just following store policy and didn't have the authority to fix it anyway. And what didn't sit right with me, girl, was how Jim started pushing like he wanted the dude fired over something that really wasn't even his call. Because come on, you're successful, you're up, you got money. Sometimes you gotta step back and look at the bigger picture. Like, would you even want to be in that man's position, dealing with corporate rules and angry customers all day? And yeah, there's nothing wrong with working that job at all. But in that moment, it felt like the energy could have been handled way calmer instead of turning it into a whole scene.
This is how your manager.
But you're right.
This is how
You went right to the camera.
For what?
Can you get someone behind?
Oh yeah, he called the cops too. That was a little too
And I
much.
don't like to have my phone out, but shit gets spooky when police come around. That's face for Lowe's. I come in here every week. What happened? You keep walking away. That's bad management skills.
Listen to this. Hold up. I'm not even going to lie. This whole situation got me split. Because sometimes these managers at Lowe's really do be acting like it's life or death over store policy. But at the same time, it's not always as simple as it looks. And I've even seen posts floating around, yeah, not just hearsay, where people found items like magic erasers marked down to a penny and were told they couldn't buy them because management had to pull and destroy them, which sounds crazy at first. Like, why even price something at a penny if nobody can purchase it? But apparently that's part of how their clearance system works. And yeah, I've heard people say you're lucky if you even catch a penny item in time, because most of them get flagged and removed before checkout. And I'll be real, I've seen folks try to hunt those deals at places like Home Depot too, sometimes getting away with it, sometimes not. But lately, it's gotten way harder because stores have tightened up with all these extra systems and checkpoints. And don't even get me started on the whole self-checkout situation, because it makes no sense. You're told to scan your own items, but then employees still hover over you like they're doing the checkout anyway, so it kind of defeats the purpose. And honestly, if they're that worried, just bring back full-service registers instead of creating this awkward in-between setup that frustrates everybody. And from what I've seen, those penny prices are actually just the final stage of clearance before items get pulled, shipped off to discount outlets, or straight up destroyed, which is wild because instead of letting customers grab a deal, they'd rather remove it from circulation entirely. And yeah, some of that inventory ends up in liquidation or resale spots at higher prices later. So when you look at it like that, the whole system starts to feel less like a deal for customers and more like a controlled process behind the scenes.